Hey, what is up, everybody? We are back for the second video of the day. In this video, we are going to be researching Vanessa Melo against Irene Aldana live. So I don't know anything about Vanessa Melo. I have already researched Irene Aldana, watched her last few fights, but looking at Vanessa Melo will be the very first time that I have dipped into her fighting style and what problems she may bring to the table, and how she matches up with Irene Aldana. So just like with all the UFC Mexico City videos this week, first thing we will cover before we jump into how both these girls match up from a stylistic point of view is how they will have prepared to deal with a high altitude climate in Mexico City. So obviously Irene Aldana is Mexican. She has fought in Mexico City a bunch of times. She is a cardio machine. She never slows down. She's got the cardio to fight at a high pace for 15 minutes. Absolutely no problem. So not worried about Irene Aldana's cardio at all in this fight. Although one thing I did think was interesting, today they had media day stare downs, and as you can see, Irene Aldana does tower over Vanessa Melo. She's got a decent size advantage here. Aldana stands at 5'9" with a 68.5-inch reach compared to Melo, who's only 5'5". So a decent size advantage here for Irene Aldana going into this matchup. Very nice. But yeah, obviously don't need to worry about how she is going to deal with the high altitude climate. And then her opponent, Vanessa Melo. This is a short notice fight for her. Irene Aldana was supposed to be fighting Marion Renault. So let's just see when this matchup was made. So if we just type the names into Google, it should give us an idea of when the matchup was actually put together. So the 11th of September. Yeah, it looks like this matchup might have been set up for around about since around about the 11th of September, which was 7 or 8 days ago now. So it looks like Vanessa Melo will be taking this fight on around 2 weeks' notice, which is obviously difficult to do. Irene Aldana is no joke, and taking a fight on 2 weeks' notice is difficult anyway, but taking a fight on 2 weeks' notice at high altitude, obviously even more difficult. So if we take a look at Vanessa Melo, how she's been preparing for this fight, obviously we can't expect her to have gone out to altitude to train for this fight very far in advance, because she hasn't known about this fight far in advance. And here we can see her training in Brazil, talking about getting the fight at UFC Mexico, and then it looks like she's in an airport here. 3 days ago, it looks like she's in an airport leaving for Mexico City. So Vanessa Melo will not be prepared for the high altitude climate of Mexico City, which obviously puts her at a big disadvantage. So remember, a big percentage of fighters that make their UFC debut lose, and even bigger percentage of fighters lose when they make their debut on short notice. And as we can see here in the odds, Irene Aldana is a massive favourite. The best odds you can get on her at the moment is around about 1.20, which is minus 500 for an implied probability of 83%. So to get any value on her here, you've got to cap her at around 88% and basically give her no chance of losing. Compared to Vanessa Melo, who is currently around a 5.0 underdog, which is plus 400 for an implied probability of 20%. So the bookies are currently seeing this as an 80-20 fight in favour of in favour of Aldana, which means you've got to give Melo at least a 30% chance of winning to get any serious value here. And like I say, you've got to give Aldana an 88% chance. So I think that covers it. Obviously, we know exactly what to expect from Irene Aldana. She's got cardio for days. She hits extremely hard. She is one of the few female fighters in the bantamweight division with legit one-shot KO power. Very heavy-handed. One of the best pure boxers in the bantamweight division. Great footwork. Cardio for days. Very tough as well. We've seen her in a few wars in the UFC. That fight with Lucy Pudilova was an absolute war. She was in a couple wars with Tonya Evinger and Invicta as well. So she's extremely tough. Tricky ground game. Not bulletproof takedown defense, but reasonably good takedown defense. Just all round a very talented fighter. But she does have a habit of making fights more difficult than they need to be, just by being a little bit passive at times. We can see here, as a result of that, a few of her past fights have have gone to a split decision. So we really need to make sure that when you bet on her, you're absolutely sure that she's going to be able to get it done, because she is prone to underperforming. She flaked out a couple times in Invicta as well, which is why she's got this salty 10-5 record. And now let's get into figuring out what problems Vanessa Melo might present for her, and watch her last fight from 2 months ago, back in July, against Jan Finney at Battlefield Fighting Championships 2. So let's get into that now. Have we got any questions? Let's take a look. And Definite Integral has said Aldana's minus 600 at his betting site. Doesn't mind a little chalk, but all the boxes need to be checked. I agree, mate. I agree. Alright, let's go. Right. Jan Finney, Vanessa Melo. Vanessa Melo is in the white shorts. Oh, one thing actually I did forget to mention that could be significant. If we just bring Vanessa Melo's Instagram profile back up. One thing that I did forget to mention is Vanessa Melo does look like she's got a couple of young children, which obviously makes it difficult to train full time, you know, when you've got kids that take up a lot of your time and attention and energy, right? Very, very, very difficult. Where's that? That's not Paris. Where's that? I was going to say, that's not Paris. Very, very interesting to see where that picture was taken. Because Paris, the Eiffel Tower doesn't have any hotels around it. But let's take a look. Where are the pictures? Okay, here. This is a picture of her being pregnant. So it looks like she was pregnant quite recently. That picture is obviously an older picture, but there are a few pictures when you scroll through her profile recently where she has looked pregnant. I saw a few more when I was scanning through earlier. There's another one. But anyway, point I'm trying to make is it's very, very difficult being a mum. Especially difficult being a mum when you're a professional fighter. So just another challenge, I guess, that makes this a difficult task for Vanessa Melo to drop everything on 2 weeks' notice and go to Mexico City to fight a beast like Irene Aldana. Let's see what she brings to the table, though, because as we know, Irene Aldana is not completely bulletproof. She is quite passive at times. She doesn't have the best fight IQ either, and her takedown defense isn't rock solid. So, see, has Vanessa got some grappling? What's her cardio looking like? What's her striking looking like? Let's take a look. Hopefully we can find out a bit about Melo here. And maybe she's worth a gamble, right? Who knows? When you see a fighter like Irene Aldana, you know, bad fight IQ, doesn't have the most solid takedown defense. She's fought to a few split decisions in the past. You don't need a lot to take a gamble on against her on an underdog, big underdog odds like this. Certainly don't need to see much, but maybe Melo will show us some stuff to make us take a gamble on her. Anything is possible. And do we have any questions? No questions. The hotel's in Vegas. Nice one, boys. I didn't realise that. So one thing about Melo is, if we look at her record, hasn't lost since 2016, and Suvi Salmamies is no joke. Interesting. See what she brings to the table. So what are you going to be expecting from Irene Aldana? She's going to be really light on her feet. Irene Aldana's got a great jab, throws lots of feints, and when she lands, she sits down really hard on her shots. Like I was saying earlier on, she's one of the few female bantamweights with legit knockout power. So far, 2 minutes in, Vanessa Melo not blowing my hair back. Of course, we've also got to take into account the fact that Irene Aldana has got home advantage on her side. So, you know, in the past where we've seen her get involved in a few close fights, go to a split decision, if this fight does end up being close, the judges are more likely to lean towards Aldana. But right now, like I say, Vanessa Melo is not blowing my hair back. So, with her winning this fight by decision, what does she get going here? Is she a grappler? Does she have some grappling in the locker? Is she a strong wrestler? Because right now, she turns up looking like this. Just like... Who said it? Just like Patrick G said, if she shows up looking like this, she is going to get her face boxed off, for sure. Because she's quite slow. Notice when she comes forward, you'll kind of see it now, but notice when she comes forward, she's there to be hit. Her chin's just there. Doesn't move her head much, and her hand speed is quite slow. And Aldana uses so much footwork, and she's so sharp, and her hand speeds are so fast, that when these two girls get into an exchange, if Melo looks like this, she is going to get lit up. Because when she's landing on Jan Finney here, she's not really landing with any impact, any power. She's not really doing any damage. And Aldana will. So when these two girls come together, Melo's going to come off worse. I mean, she ate a nice jab there. It snapped her head back. And for me, at the moment, what I'm seeing is Melo just quite slow, quite basic. And this particular style is not going to cause Aldana a problem. But I am interested to see if this fight changes in the second or third round, because so far it seems pretty even. Landed a nice right hook there. Very, very nice. Throw another one out there. And the problem is, Finney's landing a lot of clean shots here. And she's really stood right in front of Melo. She's not really using much footwork. No lateral movement. She's a pretty static target. Whereas if you think of how Irene Aldana fights, she's very, very light on her feet. Lots of footwork. Great distance control. In and out. Likes to circle. I mean, I see Aldana causing her some big problems here, especially because Aldana does a really good job of fighting long. And with that size advantage that we saw in that Instagram picture, that's going to make it even harder for Melo to land. So, didn't see anything in round one which I think would cause Aldana a problem. Let's see if she switches it up though in round two. Maybe goes some takedowns, some clinch work. Let's just answer some questions, guys, while we're waiting to see if Vanessa Melo brings anything new to the table. So, we have got... So, Luke Yu has asked if I'll be doing another football video. I hope so, mate. I'm going to try and get one out later this week. And for anyone that is into FIFA, FIFA 20 is obviously out on Tuesday. I'm going to try and get a FIFA video out as well. Got a cool idea for a FIFA video that I wanted to do for a while now. So I'm going to get a FIFA video out for FIFA 20's release. And it's cool because I can read your comments and watch the fight as well on this screen, which is quite cool. So if it looks like I'm watching the fight, trust me, I am. I'm looking at both, and so far, Melo not doing a lot, really. So Jofar Glottanine has asked, does the winner of the main event stand any chance against Max or Alex? I think that both guys would stand a chance against Volkanovski. I don't rate Volkanovski that highly at all. I think Stevens in particular would cause him big problems. But I think that Holloway would comfortably beat Yair and Stevens. Alex Leon's asked, how is Gears of War 5? It is amazing, man. I'm a big Gears of War fan. I absolutely love it. I am a big fan of Gears of War. I do recommend it for sure. And Melo not really switching things up here. Exactly the same performance as in the first round. So, you know, based on the version of Melo we're seeing here, she's not going to cause Aldana a problem. She just isn't. Aldana's too big, too powerful, too fast, too technical. You know, maybe if Melo had some grappling, she could cause Aldana a problem, but we're not seeing that here. Jack Attack's asking who would win Allsop, Duffy or Congo. Think Congo at this stage in their career, man. I mean, Duffy straight up quit last weekend, which is never a good sign. Not sure if we'll see Duffy again. WrestleMan UK has basically asked why Jack Marshman and John Phillips are so bad. It is frustrating, man, because as a Welshman, obviously there's nothing better than seeing fighters from your country do well in the UFC, but it's really strange, man. Like, Marshman's had 30 pro fights, been watching him forever, and he's never had takedown defense or a ground game. I just don't know why fighters don't choose to train these things, but what can you do? It's kind of like the sport moved on at some point in the mid-2000s. You know, fighters started to realise they need some level of skill in everything to be able to compete at the highest level. But for whatever reason, Marshman and Phillips didn't get that message, and there's still no takedown defense and no ground game. So Melo is not going to cause American Top Team t-shirt. Very interesting. She can't be training there now though. She's got a daughter, and there's plenty of pictures of her training in Brazil on her Instagram. So Melo's not going to cause Aldana a problem at all with that kind of performance. Let's see if she shows anything different in this next fight against Mariana Moraes from back in May. I mean, we could see in that fight at least Melo at sea level, her cardio held up. Here we're getting to see a bit of her clinch work. I mean, we don't really need to know much about her takedown defense. I don't see Irene Aldana trying to take this fight to the ground. Irish Brother has asked, are you uploading these vids on your channel? Because I'm not getting notifications for your streams. I am, mate. They're all going onto my channel. Not sure what's going wrong there. YouTube. I'm playing games, mate. Yeah, they're all going on my channel. Amro Mana has asked, do you think Whittaker Israel being almost a pick'em is insane? Should we capitalise on Whittaker's odds while they're still this good? I haven't seen the odds, mate. Let's have a little look. What are the odds? We got full odds for the next card. Let's have a look. What's jumping out at me? Let's take a look. So this guy's making his debut. So that's one research video for the next event. This guy's making his debut. So that's another one. Nordiev at 1.61. That's interesting. He could be a good bet. I haven't researched it, but it might be decent odds. We'll have to check it out. Diakazi might be decent at those odds. I'll have to research it. I like Alex Oliveira at those odds. Muradov's making his UFC debut, so that'll be another research video. Those odds are a little wacky. I know OSP's on a steep decline, but Oleg Zajuk is such a big favourite, seems a bit off. Macy Chiasson should absolutely dominate Lena Landsberg. Amidovsky at almost even money against John Phillips. That's interesting because, like WrestleMan UK said, Phillips has got no takedown defense at all. Don't know much about Amidovsky. I know he's at one fight in the UFC, but I can't remember too much about him. If he's got any wrestling, he could give Phillips a problem. Gilbert Burns is a favourite. Interesting, he's taking that fight on short notice. And then Hermanson against Cannonier. I do like Hermanson in that fight, but he's a big favourite. Cannonier making big improvements. Interesting card for betting that. Some interesting stuff to get into. Oh, he has a takedown to evaluate. So Moraes tying Melo up in a clinch here. And reversing position. No control of Moraes' body though. And wow, super weak takedown from Moraes. Melo shouldn't be giving up takedowns like that. Looks quite weak off her back as well. Not good. Not good at all. How'd she work her way back to her feet? I'm assuming she kicks off the cage, because that's what she was attempting. How does she work her way back up? Moraes looking heavy from side control here. How does she lose this position? Doesn't make much sense. Oh, she just lets her back up. Strange. Yeah, Moraes was looking heavy from side control. Don't know why fighters do that. Now we've got Melo in on a full body lock. She gave it up. Melo's making a lot of mistakes here. From what I'm seeing in this grappling exchange, Aldana's got absolutely nothing to worry about when it comes to grappling, because, you know, when you see a fighter gain full control of their opponent's body and just give it up without bothering to go for a takedown, seems a bit strange. You know, you're not going to beat Irene Aldana chipping away at her in the clinch like this. And again, as she let her hands go there against the cage, super slow hand speed, that's just not going to cause Aldana a problem. She gets into an exchange with Aldana when her hands are that slow, she's just going to get lit up. So yeah, not that impressed by Melo from what I've seen. Seen enough, boys. I have seen enough. I will leave it running in the background. We'll answer some more questions, and then I think we'll call it a day on this fight, boys. We are certainly not seeing anything that would cause Irene Aldana a problem. And I mean, from what we're seeing from Melo at the moment, I just don't see Aldana losing this fight. I mean, this seems like quite a safe bet, because significantly unlikely Melo is going to be able to finish Aldana. Significantly unlikely she's going to be able to outwork her. I know Aldana's a big favourite, but with home advantage, that kind of takes a robbery out of the equation as well. And she's got a big size advantage. So this is one of those fights where Aldana is a big favourite, right? But she's got pretty much every advantage in the book. Grappling advantage, 100%. Striking advantage, 100%. Size advantage, 100%. Home advantage, 100%. Chin, 100%. Toughness, 100%. Cardio, 100%. Melo's taking the fight on short notice, and it's a UFC debut. So yeah, I mean, I think Aldana obviously doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to work out she should win this, being such a big favourite, but I actually think she's worth popping in parlays and accumulators as well. This should be an easy win for Aldana, no doubt about it. So let's just answer some last questions, then we'll call it a night on this video. So Amro Manor, sorry mate, I forgot. Is Whittaker, are the odds on Whittaker too good? Should we capitalise? I got sidetracked. Where are they? Ooh, then definitely not too good on Whittaker, bro. When you said, are the odds too good on Whittaker, I thought you meant he was the underdog. No, not as a favourite, mate. Adesanya's no joke, man. I haven't researched that fight yet, so I can't talk about it in any level of depth. But, like, Whittaker's definitely not an amazing bet as a favourite. I was assuming he was an underdog from the way you worded your chat. Like, Adesanya's no joke, man. And Whittaker's had a lot of injuries and he's coming back off a long layoff. Adesanya's got experience now of going 5 hard rounds against a guy with a similar body type, similar style to Whittaker. So definitely don't think you should capitalise on Whittaker's odds. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'll feel differently after research, but those odds don't seem that great to me. Jack Attacks asked, is Jack Shaw Welsh? If so, I hope he comes through next weekend. Cheers, mate. Yeah, Jack Shaw lives about 20 minutes from my house. Not too far away. Beep Beep Ema Jeep has asked, oh, Beep Beep in my Jeep. Yes, Beep Beep in my Jeep. I get it now. I get it. Has asked, have I researched the Nam versus Pettis fight? No, mate. I will do a video like this for the Nam versus Pettis fight. We'll try and get to it tomorrow. How many more fights have I got to cover? I've got to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 5 fights left to cover, and I've still got 2 days. So on track, doing pretty good this week. But I will do the Nam Pettis fight soon. God, YouTube, man, the way it blows through these, like, literally have to keep scrolling up like crazy. It's jumped again. Oh God, I've lost my place. Sorry, boys. I think I've caught up. Kenneth Edwards has said, is there a prop worth going with since Melo isn't impressive and odds on Aldana are ridiculous? Let's have a look, mate. Let's reload, see if we get any more props. Let's take a look. So Melo's never been finished before. She's had 15 pro fights. She's never been finished. That does show some toughness for sure. What else have we got? See, the thing that was jumping out at me was possibly Aldana to win in round 3 because she does hit very hard. And this is a short notice fight at altitude for Melo, and there is a big size difference, and she is quite easy to hit. But I don't like the odds. I don't love the odds of 12.0, so I don't see any props jumping out at me there, mate. Don't really see any odds jumping out at me. I mean, Aldana by knockout or TKO at 4.65 is okay, but I don't love the odds. Definitely don't love it. Stalking has asked, have I looked into the Grasso fight at all? Yeah, I have actually, dude. I have looked at the Grasso fight. And I want to bet the Grasso fight, but I haven't. I don't want to talk about the Grasso Esparza fight yet, because I do think there could be a decent bet on this fight, and if I mention it in the video, it might impact the odds. The odds might get destroyed. So I'm just going to keep it quiet for now. Wait till as long as possible. I'll probably wait till like Saturday before I put out the video on that fight, just because I don't want to influence the odds. But I do think there could be a good bet on that fight. Paul Gremmett has asked, is a parlay bet smart of Aldana, Puelles and Eubanks? I think Aldana is safe to put in a parlay, mate. I do. Definitely wouldn't bet Eubanks because she's had cardio issues in the past at sea level. So like we said with Angela Hill, it doesn't matter that Eubanks has been out in Mexico City for a month trying to acclimatise. Generally speaking, if a fighter's got bad cardio at sea level, no matter how well they prepare, they're going to have even worse cardio in a hot, humid, high altitude climate like Mexico City. So I think Eubanks is a dangerous bet here. Puelles, no. I think the odds on Puelles are too steep because he's also got bad cardio. So even though Marcos Mariano is very bad as well. So if you wanted to look for someone to put in a parlay, maybe look to Macy Chiasson on the next event. Chiasson and Irene Aldana could be worth taking. Reese Tomlinson has said Puelles is 16-1 to win by knockout or TKO. Do you think this is worth a bet considering how bad Mariano is on the ground? Let's have a look at that, dude. Somebody's showing is 6.0 for me, mate. That's a big difference. At 6.0, I don't like it. At 16.0, I do like it a lot. Just because, obviously, like you said, with Mariano being so bad on the ground, you know, if Puelles can't get a submission, he might just go for the ground and pound finish, exactly like what you said, which would be a knockout or TKO win. But not at 6.0, but 16.0. If it's 16.0 on your betting site, definitely hit that. Lee Dosis has asked, will I be watching the NFL tonight, Chris? Yeah, man. I don't know anything about NFL, though, but I do have a very, very high win rate on live betting American football. So I will be watching that. I know it starts soon. Let me know, though, boys, right? Is it a competitive game tonight? The only way that I know if it's a competitive game or not is by looking at the odds pre-game. And that tells me by the odds if it's likely to be competitive or not. So I always come on to here. Where's American football? Ah, here we go. I look at the pre-game odds to try and work out if it's likely to be competitive, if it's worth staying up for. Oh yeah, it is. Cool. So the odds are roughly dead even on the teams tonight. So should be pretty good. What's the form looking like? Terrible for the Jaguars. All kinds of bad. Holy shit. Damn. Who the fuck thinks this is a close game? Why are they evens? Why aren't the Titans big favourites? Boys, if you obviously you guys know a lot more about NFL than I do, why in God's fucking name are the odds roughly even on this fight? Why aren't the Titans big favourites? I don't get it. Why I don't understand. They're even money, blind. Titans look like a good bet. Let me know if I'm wrong, boys. The 931st is asked, does this fight feel like Cyborg versus Spencer? I wouldn't say that because you can always trust Cyborg to come out and bring it. She always comes out and 100% you know she's going to show up. Even in the Amanda Nunes fight, she got KO'd going for the kill, so you know she's always going to bring it, whereas Aldana is flaky at times. But I mean, based on what we've seen, I just don't see Aldana. I don't see Melo causing her too much of a problem. Like I say, Aldana's got almost every advantage in the book. I'm not saying she can't win, but it would be an epic flake job for Aldana if she were to lose this. So Joseph McBride's asked, how many more videos like this am I going to do for this card? I'll do them for Askarov against Moreno. I'll do one for Quinones against Joaquin. I'll do one for Nam against Pettis. And that's it. So what's that? 1, 2, 3 more videos like this. And then I'll do another video wrapping up the other fights I haven't covered yet. Which isn't many. It's like Grasso Esparza, Nelson Polo Reyes, and Correa Eubanks. So I'm about halfway through this card with 2 or 3 days to go, which is pretty good going. Actually, I've got all day tomorrow, all day Saturday to wrap it up. Loads of time. I've only got about 4 fights left to research. It's good stuff. Oh, this jumped again. I fucking hate the live chat, man. YouTube are a nightmare. It just jumps miles ahead and then you miss loads of comments. Now I've got to scroll back up and try and find where I was. And also, guys, when I get asked about like future fights like Masvidal and Diaz, I don't like giving my opinion just because liquidity is so low on these fights at the moment. They're really far in advance. Like literally, if you just placed $500 worth of bets, you'd move the odds on your betting site, right? So if I don't want to talk about these fights that are really far in advance when liquidity is so low, because you might end up fucking the odds for everyone, you know what I mean? Like if 2,000 people watch this video and I go and say I think Nate Diaz is a great bet, 2,000 people watch this video when the liquidity is really low, and like even if just fucking 20 people out of 2,000 were to max bet Diaz at the current super low liquidity levels, he'll just destroy the odds. So please don't think I'm ignoring you guys, but I just like, that's why I do ignore some of the questions about upcoming fights, just because I don't want to influence the odds. Same reason why I don't want to influence the odds on Esparza versus Grasso. Big part of making money in this game is also managing the odds movement, and as the channel grows, I basically don't want to fuck the odds up for everyone by speaking about fights when the max bet limits and the liquidity is super low. So if a fight's out ever far in advance, I will just kind of like not say anything until liquidity builds up a bit. Yeah, Joseph McBride's asked to do the Moreno versus Askarov fight. I will definitely do that one next. A lot of people seem to be interested in that one, so I will do that one tomorrow for sure. Lidosis, I can't answer that question, dude, because my wife is about 20 feet away in the living room and I'll get killed if I answer that question. Good question though, dude. Good luck, Ken. Take care, mate. Definite Integral. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. This video is a bit shitty because obviously Aldana's a giant favourite. Like, it's pretty obvious that... I mean, it's a pretty boring video, but the Hill one was decent earlier on. We got some other more complicated fights coming up, like the Nam Pettis one, Askarov Moreno. Should be a good one. Curtis Oakley, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. Hopefully it works out, man. I think you'll like it though, dude. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Reese Tomlinson, 16-1 on Ladbrokes. I would definitely go for that, dude. I like that. That's definitely value. Jofar Glotanin has asked, are there any rock solid bets on upcoming cards? You know what, man? Like I was saying in that video the other day for the Rodriguez-Stevens fight, really, really lacking rock solid opportunities lately. September's an absolute bitch for betting, but I don't know if these are rock solid opportunities. I really don't know, but I'm just gonna say from memory what I think, and maybe if you go and research them, they'll turn out to be rock solid. So Macy Chiasson shouldn't lose to Lena Landsberg. Aldana shouldn't lose to Melo. If you parlay both those girls together, you're getting about 1.60, which is minus 167, for an implied probability of 63%. I think it's fair to cap both those girls winning at least 70%. Because remember, Chiasson, super strong grappler, and Landsberg hasn't got any takedown defense. But where we're talking about rock solid bets, don't want to name any other names just because I might be completely wrong. I'm comfortable saying Chiasson should win easily. I'm comfortable saying Aldana should win easily because we've just seen it. Pointless going any further into the future because the max bet limits and liquidity are so low. So again, I don't want to influence that. But God, I never look at the future odds because, like I say, liquidity is too low. It doesn't even enter my head until closer to the time of the event. But some interesting odds coming up. Surprised Jan Jacek's that big of a favourite. Very surprised. Surprised Archuleta's that big of an underdog as well. Thought the odds would be closer to even because Pitbull can be quite passive at times and Archuleta's a workhorse. Interesting. So Alex Leon has said Macy Chiasson just lost her entire house and belongings. Shit. That is brutal, man. Thanks for letting me know. What the hell happened there, dude? What the hell happened there? She posted about it. How do you know, dude? What? No way. Back in June, Macy Chiasson loses home due to fallen crane caused by a storm. That is savage. Was a while back now, though. Damn, that is really unlucky. Shit, hope she's okay. Hope she's alright. So, from the way you guys are talking, the game today should be pretty close, I'm guessing. So the odds are right. For me, when you look at the win-loss records of both sides, Texans just look like a decent bet. Alright, looks like it's better not to bet Titans and just see how it goes in live betting, is it, boys? Michael Juan, no, I'm not going to do the Moreno-Askarov fight tonight. Makes this almost midnight in the UK, so I'm feeling a bit tired. But I will do it. I'll do the Askarov fight, the first one tomorrow, man. Jack Attack said, I think Stevens is going to systematically break down Yaya. I agree, mate. I think it's a good stylistic matchup for Stevens. Kenneth Edwards has asked how I decide which fights to do a video like this on. So the fights that I'm doing videos like this on are ones where there's a lot of footage on at least one of the fighters that I can use without getting into trouble for copyright. So obviously the majority of UFC fighters, all their recent fights are on UFC Fight Pass, and I can't use their fight footage because the videos would be flagged for copyright. But for fighters like Vanessa Melo, Askar Askarov, Tyson Nam, who are making their debut, all their recent fights are available to watch online, so I can use them in videos. So that's how I decide, basically. David has asked if I'm excited for the Masvidal Diaz press conference. Definitely, man. I'm going to go watch it straight after we're done here. We'll get this wrapped up in the next 10 minutes and we can all go watch that. Curtis Oakley has asked, what is the best betting site? Bet365 are the best by a mile, man. They are the best, despite all the nasty things I said about them in my video. Don't know if you've seen it, but I made a video. Where is it gone? If you haven't watched it, this video here, do you want to be a professional gambler? I say a lot of nasty things about Bet365 in that video, but to be fair, they are the best. Credit where credit's due. Jay Coyle has asked, who do you fancy to win the championship this season? I know they're inconsistent, but Fulham are the best team I've seen. On their day, I think Fulham smash everyone, but they're a bit inconsistent. Oh, Kenneth Edwards, thanks a lot for the kind words, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thanks a lot. Andrei Alexandrov has asked, what's my favourite snack when watching UFC events? Man, I don't get to eat. I do alternate commentary for the guys on my website for UFC events, so I don't get to eat, man. It's flat out talk for like 7 hours straight. So I like commentate fights from a betting perspective, and it is relentless, man. It never ends. Jack Attack. Does the missus have a favourite fighter? Joe? What? They want to know if you've got a favourite fighter. She'll say Luke Rockhold. No, not Luke Rockhold. I don't know. She doesn't know. I have to think about it. She'll have to think about it. I'll get back to you though, boys. She did like Connor, obviously, but the whole punching an old guy in the face thing, can't say you like Connor anymore. Scotty Pimpin, man, yes, I will do a Goat Simulator video, man. If I got time to do a recap video next week, some weeks I'll do the recap videos, other weeks I won't, because it's like, the recap videos are quite easy to do because they don't really take any preparation, but on a week like this, when there's so many of these research videos we can do, like there's 6 of these types of videos we can do this week, this will be our 3rd, we got another 3 coming. I just think like doing a recap video as well is a bit much, man. But on the quieter weeks, like when we've got like a big pay-per-view and there's not many research videos for us to do because all the fighters on the card are in the UFC and we can't use much footage, those are the weeks I'll do like the recap videos. So yeah, whenever I do a recap video, man, we'll get some games on in the background. Oh, I did it again, man. YouTube skipping tons of comments. Does my head in. Does it all the fucking time. I swear to God, they do it to try and get people to do super chats. Because, like, there isn't even that many people watching this. Like, I can just about find roughly where I was. There's only 100 people watching. Say you had, like, 200 people watching. Fucking no chance. The comments would just disappear. They're just fucking whizzes ahead miles. You don't know where you are then. Huge erection. Haha, huge erection. Quality. Thanks, dude. So huge erection just said that both teams in the NFL game tonight, all kinds of bad takedown defense from Melo here as well. Both teams have got an inspiring quarterback play. Joseph McBride saying, 4 means a lot in soccer, but doesn't mean so much in American football. Cheers, dude. I didn't know that. A lot of people, man. So Avi Gold, thanks a lot, mate. So Avi Gold has just said I should do a video on Askar Askarov because he's going to ragdoll Brandon Moreno. His wrestling is Khabib good. Everyone is mentioning Askarov, man. I don't know anything about this Askarov guy, but so many people are talking about it that I need to get on this Askarov guy. I need to take a look at him bad. Jack Attack has asked what time the first video will be out. I don't know, dude. I don't know what time the first video will be out, but I'm going to try and get 2 or 3 of these done tomorrow. 2 or 3 of these videos. Reese Tomlinson, how do you live bet NFL, mate? All betting sites offer live betting on NFL, dude. Jay Coyles asked, who do you think will win the championship? I think Fulham will get it, man. Well, Fulham are the best team I've seen. And do you think Cardiff will get in the playoffs? Based on the way we're looking at the moment, no. But you never know in the championship, man. Like, everyone can beat everyone. I hope so, but it's not looking good at the moment. We're quite poor this season. Mark Ashton's asked, have you ever gone to a live UFC event? I have, man. I've been to loads. Been to quite a few UFC events. Joseph McBride's asked, is the commentary only for elite members or do VIP members get the UFC live commentary as well? Yeah, it's only for elite members, mate. And I do take a bit of shit about this online. So I am going to bring this up right now. Because I always get people say, how can you charge people $200 for your betting tips? That's an extortionate amount of money. It's way too expensive. How can you charge people $200? That's disgusting. And the answer to that question is, I don't actually charge people $200 anymore. Because if you try and sign up, watch what happens. So I have just come to the website. This is the live betting tips page right here. Yeah, you can see it, live betting tips. And it says here, elite memberships available, 0. Sign up now. And if you click sign up now, look what happens. Let's just say sign up now. Just redirects you to the home page. We have a look here, sign up now. Redirects you to the home page. One more time, sign up now. Redirects you to the home page. See what I'm saying, guys? You can't actually give me your money if you want to. There's no memberships available. All spaces are fully booked. They barely had any cancellations in the whole of 2019, which is like 9 months in now. Occasionally we get one spot pop up, but not very often. So yes, the commentary's only for elite members, and there's a good reason for that. I'm not being a dick. There is actually a very good reason for that. A reason being, as you guys know, the way that betting odds work, in particular live betting odds, is the more money that is bet on either outcome, any outcome, fighter A wins, fighter B wins, the more the odds decline, right? And in live betting, if you've got tons of people all trying to bet the same thing at the same time, the odds crash very fast and they become suspended. So only a small number of people get access to the commentary, because say for example I let everyone listen to it. Say I fucking live streamed my commentary on YouTube, right? And like 100 people now are watching this live stream, right? Say I just live streamed my commentary. It wouldn't benefit anyone, because if 100 people tried to place the same bet at the same time, the odds online in live betting would instantly get suspended, like straight away. So no one would be able to make money. That's the reason why I cap it to a really small number, because if a lot of people tried to follow the advice that I give out during the commentary, it just wouldn't work. So I have to keep the numbers small. So this is why when I see in the comments people saying, like, how can you charge $200, yada, yada, yada. Well, I don't. Like, if you try and sign up, you can't. Like, you can't. Sign up just redirects you to homepage. There's no actual way to sign up. So that's why, only the elite members get access. Not because I'm being a dick, just because the liquidity is so low on live betting MMA that just not a lot of people can place the same bets at the same time without the odds getting suspended. You gotta keep numbers small. YouTube's done it again. I've lost where I am. Jay Coyle is asked, do you think my team Leeds will get in the playoffs? Yeah, man. Leeds are a quality side. I think Leeds will be up there for sure. Leeds are definitely better than Cardiff. I know that much. So Kenneth Edwards has asked, who is the bigger threat to Khabib, Gaethje or Ferguson? Maybe someone else. I do think Khabib would beat Ferguson quite easily. Ferguson is seen as like this. It's weird, isn't it? Because styles make fights, right? So I think that Ferguson is quite an easy style for Khabib. Because if we look back through Ferguson's history, right? The two fighters that he's had two of the biggest problems with over, say, the last 6 or 7 years have been Danny Castillo, who is a very strong wrestler, and also Kevin Lee. Until Kevin Lee gassed out, I mean, he was dominating Ferguson on the ground. And we know Khabib won't get tired. So, based on the Castillo and the Kevin Lee fights, I do think Khabib would beat Ferguson quite easily. Because I think by this point, it's fair to say that the only real way to beat Khabib is landing a kill shot on him or being able to keep the fight standing. And based on past performances, Ferguson definitely can't keep the fight standing. And Ferguson doesn't have that one-shot KO power either. He breaks guys down with volume and pressure. He's not going to be able to do that to Khabib because he'll be on his back and he doesn't have the power to land that kill shot. Gaethje, on the other hand, is an interesting one because Gaethje does have the power to hurt Khabib bad. He does have that one-shot KO power. And also, Gaethje does have an NCAA Division 1 level wrestling background. So we don't know what Gaethje's grappling like. On paper it's very good, but we haven't seen it. Now, from the way that Gaethje moves, he's quite stiff, quite rigid. He doesn't look like the kind of guy that would be a strong wrestler. It just doesn't. Like, he doesn't look that athletic. He's not that fast. He's not that explosive. So the guy that I actually think is the biggest threat to Khabib is Gregor Gillespie. Because Gregor Gillespie is fast. He's got cardio for days. He hits very hard. And he's very dangerous standing. I would give Gillespie an advantage standing over Khabib. And even though, Gregor might not be on the level of Khabib when it comes to grappling, his high-level NCAA Division 1 level background may be enough to keep the fight standing and then cause Khabib big problems with his striking. So I think Gaethje and Ferguson are obviously, ranked higher than Gregor, but I think Gregor is the biggest threat to Khabib. I think Gregor is actually amazing. And I think he'll be in the top 5 real soon. In fact, has he got a fight scheduled? Let's have a look if he is fighting anyone anytime soon. Gregor the Gift Gillespie. This guy is a nightmare. This guy is going to be an absolute nightmare. He hasn't got a fight scheduled. Or does he? Is it on the Google? It is not. But I would say this guy is the biggest threat, based on how both guys match up. Let's rewind this a little bit. Let's rewind. Michael Juan has asked, what do you think about the media having nothing to say about the supposed rape by Conor? Version I heard was shocking. It's a tricky one for the media, man, because you can't just go out and accuse a guy of rape without it being proven, because if after the fact he gets proven not guilty and media outlets have gone out and said, you know, Conor's raped a girl, they could be sued for libel, they could be sued for, you know, defamation of character. So the reason why the media don't report on stuff like that is because legally it can get him into a lot of trouble if he's proven to be not guilty. Joseph McBride, man, you can live bet at BetDSI and 5 times, dude. Oh, it's done it again. YouTube is a nightmare. So Mark Ashton's asked if there's a waiting list for elite members. There's not, but I get emails every week about elite membership spaces, and I know I say to everyone that I'll be creating a waiting list soon. I promise you guys, I will create a waiting list soon. We've got a 3-week break coming up in the UFC schedule at the end of November. I promise you guys, I'll try and create a waiting list for then. Jay Coyles asked when the more memberships become available. So more memberships become available when current people leave. John Wayne has asked, what happens if you have too many VIP members and the odds get completely steamed within minutes, like what happened with Luca Fury back in the day? Will you put a member cap? Yeah, man, for sure. And the good thing is, you should be able to see when that cap should be, because obviously, like, number of members goes up slowly. So you'll get to see at what point you start to influence the odds, and at that point you can just close the doors. Like, that's pretty much what happened with the elite memberships. It's not like I just plucked a number out of thin air. We just kind of saw that 30 was about the sweet spot, and we just closed the doors at that point. Man, YouTube comments are jumping all over the place. It is very annoying. Very annoying. Nadia Shah, I haven't researched the Carl Nelson fight yet. Sorry, dude. Jay Coyles asked who would win, Gillespie versus Makhachev. I'm not sure, man. That is a great fight, though. That is a really good fight. Eli is... So we've been here saying Gregor would get wrestle fucked by Khabib. How do you know, dude? How do you know? Do you have a crystal ball? John Wayne has asked, why are the elite memberships so expensive? Because you can earn a fucking fortune from my advice, dude. You can earn a lot of money. I don't jack attack. I do not smoke at all, dude. I do not smoke. So that looks like it's going to be it, boys, for this video. That is all the questions. Happy days. I will do the Askarov versus Moreno video tomorrow. That'll be the first one I do. So nice one for watching, boys. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And also, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this video, what you think of these research videos. It's only the third one I've done. They will get better. But for now, guys, take care. Hope you all crush it on the NFL later. I will speak to you all really, really soon. So take care, everyone, and good